Hey there, and welcome to our message series on Jesus Says. In this series, we've touched on what Jesus says about some of the Beatitudes. We've also looked at what he said about how to handle anger and how to deal with sexual sins. Today, we're looking at what Jesus says about his followers. How does he define who his followers actually are? And what is it that he wants us to do in this world? Before we get to that, though, if you have been on the 40-day fast feast journey with us, I've got a question for you. Do you realize that we have 7 days left to go, give or take, until we hit the 40? Some of you may be saying to yourself, yeah, really, wow, that's incredible. It's just flown by. Others of you are kind of saying, yeah, I'm painfully aware of the time left. I'm counting the hours. Either way, here's some questions for you to consider in your group. Number one, how do you intend to end your fast? And number two, how do you intend to keep what you've gained and build on what you've learned? Well, welcome back. Hope that your discussion was lively and encouraging. The truth is, habits are very hard to change, and you've seen that firsthand through your experience. But I got some great news for you. Foundation Church is going to help you keep what you've gained and build on what you've learned. How, you may ask? Well, first of all, look at foundationchurch.com/fasting, and then also join us for Day 41, which is going to be Sunday, April the 14th at 6 p.m., for an inspiring worship service with stories and victories. And in that service, we'll learn a special spiritual practice that will help you move forward in your faith. So stay tuned, details to follow. All right, as promised, today, what Jesus says about his followers, specifically in Matthew chapter 5, verses 13 through 16. So as a group, read Matthew 5, 13 through 16 aloud together, and then discuss these questions. Number one, what are the purposes of salt? Number two, what are the purposes of light? And number three, how would you apply this to your life as a follower of Jesus? Anyone in this group not heard of Salt Life? You see this on bumper stickers, you see it on clothing, you see it on hats. It's very popular currently. What does Salt Life actually refer to? Salt life is a term describing a way of life that revolves around the ocean or the lake or fishing or skiing or scuba diving. Jesus describes his followers as salt and light, and he defines his intended purpose for them in the world. Here's some questions for your group to consider. Number one, based on Jesus' description of his followers, would you consider yourself his follower? Why or why not? And number two, are you interested in becoming or continuing to follow Jesus? And number three, what is the appeal to living as salt and light? And then also, what are the difficulties of living as salt and light? As we wrap up today's lesson, here are a few things to consider. When Jesus gave this teaching to his original audience, they did not understand what he meant. Much less were they doing what he actually described. Jesus was laying out a vision of what his followers' lives would become. And this is key, with his help. The Sermon on the Mount, found in Matthew chapters 5 through 7, Jesus describes the kind of person who characterizes his kingdom. This is something his followers become with the combination of their desire to follow Jesus and the help of the Holy Spirit. Jesus says his followers live the salt light, and he works through us to transform this world. You see, Jesus' followers have an essential role in the short time that we're here on this planet, so don't waste it. Until next time, remember, Day 41 is April 14th at 6 p.m., so be sure not miss that. And next Sunday, we celebrate Jesus' victory over sin, Satan, and death. In the meantime, live the salt light and bring someone with you to FC. It could be the beginning of a transformed life. God bless you.